Here we have Stella. Stella. Hey, girl. Hi there. So, this is Stella's kind of first day. So I just walk around. The first few days, I don't ever go around the backside with these guys. I just let them kind of just walk in big old circles right here, play right here, work right there. That's all they get first few days. She's not too bad with it on the slip lead right here, even giving her space. I had her on the harness yesterday. Oh my God. And the leash that, what are you rolling in? What are you rolling in? What's up, cute thing? But she got me thinking about returns, right? So she just got returned. The people had her for a few days. Oh, there's a poop there. Or somebody's poop there. And they tried to introduce her to a bunch of dogs, supposedly, and supposedly she went after them. But in her foster, she was real good. At the rescue lady's house, she was real good with their dogs. So then she went to another house on the way here, and they tried to introduce her to a dog. They said that the dog was not dog friendly, but the little bit of the video I saw, they caused it, and it probably wasn't a big deal. All right, hold on. All right, so anyways, you gonna be faithful today, huh? Day 2. Now that you poo-pooed. All right, so yeah, I kind of let him get away with stuff. As long as I'm not pulling real hard right here, I kind of let him get away with a little bit. Especially first day before we start working. But anyways, I did Robert Cabral's shelter dog training thing, and he says every time a dog gets returned, or adopted and returned, we're breaking trust in a human, right? And I think more specifically, he's talking about to the shelter because he works pretty specifically with the LA shelters. So it's not like these small rescues that are kind of like a home with dogs in it, or like going through fosters, right? So going through foster, if you go to 5, 6, 7 fosters, I don't think that breaks the trust in the person. It would be more repetition of meeting a person with desensitizing to the movement and stuff. That word probably doesn't need to be used there. Repetitions of moving in with people, practice of home life. As long as the fosters are implementing at least some kind of rules and structure. But yeah, so the shelter I started at, they started doing this thing kind of right at the end of my time there, where they were telling the adoption people to never say no, right? So I think that's kind of specifically what he's talking about. They're like, well, the dog can be returned within 10 days, no big deal, you know what I mean? And it's like, it kind of is, right? You're living in a jail, you go somewhere for 2 days, and you come back to the jail, right? Calling it a jail is kind of hyperbolic, and depends on the shelter, right? The one I was at, there's a lot of volunteers, so most of the dogs got a lot of human interaction and had a lot of outside time, right? And at the time, they're trying to start implementing a lot of enrichment stuff as well. So, and some of us would actually work with the dogs, not just take them and throw them in the yard, clean up their pee and poop. But the point is, if somebody could hear that and think bad of it, and it's like, you got to think about his main work is in like a big city municipal shelter, right? That's where he mostly helps. And so Oh, the just say no. That's where I was trying to go to. See, I swear, right before I started the video, I talked this out pretty good. I need to starting it before I even start talking. I didn't think I want to make a video about it though. So, yeah, it's crazy. The adoption counselors should take their time and make sure it's a good fit, right? And I'll bring up the dog that I have coming 3 times a week. Her name's Ginger. It's a terrible fit. Now the lady loves her, especially now, right? And luckily she's a more responsible person, and she has the money to do this, right? The first month she was coming 4 days a week because the lady just couldn't do it, and she was at her wit's end. She didn't want to give her back, but there was no way she was going to be able to keep. There was all kinds of stuff going. She didn't know what to do. It's a high drive shepherd mix that they adopted to a low energy, older, right, a 1 year old high drive shepherd mix, right, and then they adopted her to an older introverted lady. She needed a dog like this, that she could just go out and walk around the block 15 minutes and be fine, right? So, anyways, Jim's been coming now for 5 months, right? And we've dropped from 4 days to 3 days because we got some good rules going on. But even on her days off, like when she doesn't come, the lady barely walks her like a 20-minute walk in the morning and night. If she even does the morning one, I think she just does the afternoon. So she's trying to get by with a 1.5-year-old now shepherd mix. She's trying to get by with a 20-minute walk. I'm like, you can't do that, dude. You gotta play with her. You gotta intense exercise. And then she's leaning on the licking and chewing is calming, right? So it's like, she's always like, oh, I got these new bones. I'm like, you have to do some interactive, intensive play, right? Interactive, intense exercise. And it doesn't take that much. And this is what I tell her at least twice a week. It doesn't take that much. 5 minutes. Do those recall games inside your house for 5 minutes. Take her to the park on the long line and play ball with her. Just throw the ball 15 feet away. Work the obedience, throw the ball. Work the obedience, throw the ball. Structured play. Use her up. So anyways, that's one that should have been said no. She should have got a little dog like this, right? And now she's had her, and luckily she's got the money and the personal responsibility to work through it. But she still doesn't have the energy. That's when, to tell adoption counselors in an actual big facility, right? You know, a little one like where this one's from, not as big a deal. She goes through, she's gonna, I'm sure for some dogs, going from foster to foster and adopted and back is bad, but some dogs, at least it's foster and it's in a home, right? Maybe 1 or 2 other dogs, but with the people, it's in the home instead of like a big facility, right? I think I lost my way on my talk. I was supposed to bring up the adoption counselors. There should be a don't say no. There should not be a don't say no policy for adoptions. There should, and what is it? Do returns ruin the dog? Or break trust in humans, right? Do adoption returns, adoption failures, do they hurt the mentality of the dog? I think in the big facilities, probably, right? And the one I worked at, it wasn't a super big facility, but we had, at the time, I think they expanded when I was leaving. At the time, there was, 30, 40, I'm going to say there was 40, 45 medium to large dogs, and then we had a small dog room. And then there was the intake room that was about 20 or 30. So what's that, 40, 60, so we'll say 75, 80, maybe somewhere around 80 dogs, including small ones. Maybe somewhere around there. Still, that's like a big old facility that you just, even in fosters, right? If they're in the crate while people are at work, and then if they're in the crate when people are home, that's normal, right? And then a lot of fosters, they don't have to. After the first little bit, they don't need to be crated, right? Once they get acclimated in there, depending on the age of the dog and the rules that are set. Anyways, 2 minutes, that's not that bad. I think I hit my 2 points. I didn't stay on task. If I was stayed with no tangents, I could have done this in 6 minutes. My brain. Maybe I need what's that brain stuff? Ginkgo biloba? I don't think they even sell that stuff anymore. There's that other brain stuff. Maybe that's what I need. I need some old man brain stuff. Super beats? Out of here, dude. You guys have a good one.